A soldier had no laboratory, no development budget, no team of engineers. What he had was a specific problem and a clear idea of how to solve it. The rifle he designed entered Soviet service in 1947. It ended up on the flag of a nation. It appeared on coins, on currency, in the hands of standing armies across 6 continents. Estimated total production across all manufacturers, over 100 million units. But the rifle was not the story. The factory that built it was. That factory has been operating since 1807. It armed the Imperial Russian Army. It produced weapons through 2 world wars. It outlasted the political system that made it famous. It currently manufactures 95% of all small arms produced in Russia and is delivering to active war zones right now. This is the complete Kalashnikov concern arsenal. Every weapon, every platform, every caliber, from the first musket contract to the current production line. The Russian military has carried a sidearm in every conflict since the 19th century. The weapon changed. The requirement never did. The Nagant M1895 entered Imperial service in that year. Caliber 7.62 by 38 mm rimmed, 7-round cylinder. The gas seal design closed the gap between cylinder and barrel on firing, an unusual capability for a revolver, and one that allowed effective suppression. It remained in Soviet service through the Second World War. The Makarov PM replaced it in 1951. Caliber 9 by 18 mm. Straight blowback. No tilting barrel, no complex lockwork. 8 rounds. Simple enough for conscripts. Standard Soviet sidearm through the Cold War. The PMM variant added a higher capacity magazine and updated ammunition compatibility. The PSM ran alongside it from 1973. Caliber 5.45 by 18 mm, exceptionally flat. Designed for KGB officers and senior personnel requiring concealment. The PB extended the Makarov in a different direction, an integrated 2-part suppressor issued to special forces for operations requiring sound discipline. The Yarygin PYA entered frontline service in 2003. Caliber 9 by 19 mm parabellum, 18-round magazine. The shift to the Western Standard cartridge acknowledged what field reports had confirmed: better performance against body armor, better range. The Lebedev PL-15, introduced around 2015, was benchmarked directly against Glock and SYG. The PL-15 is the production version, adopted by the FSB and selected Special Forces units. The PL-K is the compact variant, built in Izhevsk, same facility that produced the Nagant. The factory at Izhevsk did not begin with the Kalashnikov. It began with a Tsar's order and a war already underway. In 1807, Alexander I established the Izhevsk arms plant to supply the Imperial Army. The Mosin Nagant M1891 followed. Caliber 7.62 by 54 mm rimmed. Bolt action. Production across all Soviet and Russian facilities exceeded 37 million rifles. The weapon served from the Russo-Japanese War through the Second World War and was still being issued to Soviet-aligned forces into the 1970s. The SVT-40 came next. Semi-automatic, gas-operated, 10-round detachable box magazine, accurate under controlled conditions, under field conditions, conscript soldiers, minimal maintenance, Eastern Front winters. It proved difficult, complex to strip, sensitive to fouling. Soviet military analysis after the Finnish Winter War confirmed the problem. The Army needed a rifle a poorly trained soldier could run in mud and cold with almost no maintenance. In 1947, the answer entered service. Caliber 7.62 by 39 mm, gas-operated rotating bolt, around 4.3 kilograms loaded. The AK-47 was not the most accurate rifle of its era. That was never the point. Trials confirmed what the designers expected: reliable under any conditions, minimal training required. The factory that had been running since the Napoleonic era now had the platform it would build for the next century. The AK-47 had a problem. The milled steel receiver was strong. It was also slow and expensive to produce at the scale the Soviet military required. In 1959, the solution entered production: the AKM. Same caliber, same operating system, stamped steel receiver, lighter by nearly a kilogram, dramatically faster to manufacture. A slanted muzzle brake reduced climb during automatic fire. Licensed production went to Poland, East Germany, Hungary, China, Egypt, Yugoslavia. When people picture an AK, they are almost always picturing the AKM. By the late 1960s, American forces in Vietnam were fielding the M16 in 5.56 millimeter. Lighter ammunition load, higher velocity, smaller cartridge. Soviet analysts documented the implications. The response came in 1974, the AK-74. Same operating system redesigned around 5.45 by 39 millimeter. Lower recoil, flatter trajectory. The AK-74 became the standard Soviet rifle for the Afghan War. Its performance in that conflict confirmed the design. The AK-74 added a folding metal stock for paratroopers and vehicle crews. The AK-74U shortened the barrel under 200 millimeters, used by KGB agents, tank crews, and special operations units. Small enough to conceal, capable enough to fight. A defining image of the Afghan campaign. When the Soviet Union collapsed, military contracts dried up. The factory faced survival in a market it had never needed to enter. The AK-100 series launched in the mid-1990s. 5 variants, 1 platform, each targeting a different export customer. The AK-101 in 5.56 millimeter NATO. The AK-102, its compact version. The AK-103 in 7.62 by 39 millimeter for customers running AKM infrastructure. The AK-104, the compact AK-103. The AK-105, a shortened AK-74 variant. The AK-103 became one of the best-selling export rifles of the period. Venezuela, India, Libya, Algeria. In 2018, the Russian military adopted the AK-12. Full-length Picatinny rails on the handguard, adjustable stock, improved trigger, last round bolt hold open, caliber 5.45 by 39 millimeter. The AK-15 runs alongside it, structurally identical, chambered in 7.62 by 39 millimeter. In 2025, the AK-15K and AK-15SK were presented, described as optimized for urban combat, both confirmed in active use in Ukraine. The AK-19 covers the NATO export market in 5.56 millimeter. The AK-308, chambered in .308 Winchester, addresses engagements where intermediate cartridges reach their limit. Every infantry squad needs a weapon that can sustain fire longer than a rifle. In 1961, the factory answered that requirement. The RPK, caliber 7.62 by 39 millimeter. Longer, heavier barrel. Folding bipod. 40-round box, 75-round drum available. 80% of its components shared with the AKM. Same bolt, same trigger group, same gas system, one training program. Interchangeable parts in the field. When the AK-74 arrived, the RPK-74 followed. Same logic, 5.45 by 39 millimeter. The PKM occupied the next tier. Caliber 7.62 by 54 millimeter rimmed, belt-fed, general-purpose machine gun at squad and platoon level. The PKP Pecheneg followed. Fixed barrel, optimized for sustained fire without barrel changes. In 2018, the RPK-16 introduced a quick-change barrel, modern rail system, and AK-12 magazine compatibility. A squad carrying both weapons shares identical ammunition. Then in 2025, the RPL-7, belt-fed, caliber 7.62 by 39 mm, the first belt-fed weapon in the Kalashnikov light machine gun line. The departure from magazine-fed doctrine is significant. The lessons of sustained combat in Ukraine produced it. Not every engagement happens at a rifle range. The PP-19 Bizon entered service in 1996, caliber 9 by 18 mm Makarov, helical magazine beneath the barrel, 64 rounds, compact overall length, 60% of components shared with the AKS-74U, adopted by Interior Ministry forces and police. The PP-1901 Vityaz SN followed in 2004. Caliber 9 by 19 mm Parabellum, standard box magazine, blowback operation, adopted by the FSB and Russian police. The shift to 9 by 19 mm acknowledged what the Makarov cartridge could not deliver at distance. The PPK-20 arrived in 2021, same caliber. AK-12 ergonomics in a subcompact frame, designed for vehicle crews, pilots, and support personnel. Two platforms operate outside the standard caliber lineup entirely. The OTs-14 Groza, bullpup, 9 by 39 mm subsonic, suppressor optimized, issued to Spetsnaz for noise-disciplined operations. The AS-Val extended the same cartridge with an integral suppressor as the Special Forces standard. The VSS Vintorez applied it to a suppressed designated marksman role. In 1963, a second designer at the Izhevsk factory produced a rifle that would define Soviet sniper doctrine for 6 decades. His name was Yevgeny Dragunov, not Kalashnikov, same factory. The SVD is a semi-automatic, gas-operated rifle chambered in 7.62 mm by 54 mm rimmed cartridge, the same cartridge in Russian military service since 1891. It is not a precision sniper rifle in the Western sense. Soviet doctrine placed one per rifle platoon, used to suppress enemy snipers, eliminate crew-served weapon teams, and engage targets beyond the reach of AK fire. The skeletonized stock kept weight down. The long gas system kept it running. The SVDS added a folding tubular stock for paratroopers and vehicle crews. The SVU reconfigured the action into a bullpup layout, same barrel length, reduced overall length. The SVDM, introduced in 2018, added a Picatinny rail, adjustable cheekpiece, and new muzzle device. It is the current production standard. The SVK is a designated marksman rifle in development, intended to push effective range beyond the SVD. The SV98 is a bolt-action 7.62 mm by 54 mm rifle, issued in limited numbers to special forces. The cartridge, first chambered in an Imperial Russian rifle in 1891, is still in production in Izhevsk today. When military contracts fell away after the Soviet collapse, the factory needed revenue. The answer was the Saiga. The Saiga 12 entered production in the early 1990s. 12-gauge, detachable box magazine, a K receiver and operating system scaled for shotgun shells. It handled like an AK because mechanically it was one. The Saiga 12K shortened the barrel and added a folding stock. The Saiga 12S introduced a pistol grip. The Saiga 20 and Saiga 410 extended the line to smaller gauges. The Saiga MK brought rifle calibers, .223 Remington and 5.45 by 39 mm to the sporting market. The Tiger series, versions 01, 02, 05, and Tiger 308, applied the SVD platform to semi-automatic hunting use. American and European markets absorbed significant volume through the 2000s. In 2014, U.S. import restrictions cut that supply. In 2022, sanctions closed the remaining Western channels. The factory continued producing. Founded by order of Tsar Alexander I in 1807, armed through the Napoleonic Wars, supplied the Imperial Army, the Red Army, the Soviet Army, survived revolution, 2 world wars, the Cold War, and the dissolution of the state that defined it, currently delivering to active war zones. The factory at Izhevsk has been producing weapons for more than 2 centuries. It has never missed a war.